This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at the John Kirby Studio for their presentation of A Steady Rain. Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
John Kirby. I directed the play, A Steady Rain, by Keith Huff, who is such a wonderful writer. And I've been kind of really grateful that I had these two actors that I'd worked with for years. And Andy Hoff came to me, said, I want to do Steady Rain. And I thought he and RJ, they had put it up once in class. I said, okay, we'll do it. And it's been a blast. You know, the play grabs me because I think friendship means so much to me. And sometimes in life, you know, people come into, they have good intention, they go into it, they're rooting for each other, they had a, you know, purpose to want to accomplish something. And I think as the failure moved into their lives, I think it destroyed them on so many levels. And I think we see that happening all the time. And I think it's even more tragic when it has to do with the police, you know, and justice. And they didn't get their dream. And of course, Andy's character finally gets the dream, but there was a price for it, you know. So yeah, I was really drawn to it. And I'm excited to see what Spielberg does with the movie. You know, I don't know who he'll cast. It would be so wonderful if these guys got to play maybe some of the cops in the movie. The author's been so gracious to us. But it's been a blast working on it, you know, and they give it all. You know, they give their all, and they bleed up here, and they both break my heart at so many different times, but they're really exceptional actors. So, you know, I think it'd be great to get to chat with them.
Oh, well, first of all, I love the performance. I thought it was fantastic. I love the story. It's just riveting. I was just glued to my seat.
You know, he wrote an amazing play, didn't he? And it was originally written as a screenplay. Then he decided, let's turn it to a two-hander, and he took it to Chicago, where he lived, where Keith Huff lived. And I guess it was really well received. And then last year, they did it on Broadway with Daniel Craig and Hugh Jackman. But yeah, I'm glad you liked the piece, because I liked it from the day I found it. I thought, wow, this play gets me, and they were so great when we explored it before, and then I was so glad that Andy asked me to direct it. You know, it meant a lot to me. But they've been a dream to work with. You know, sometimes you really feel kind of so fortunate when you go to work on a play and there's no drama, and it almost feels like a meditation. Everything just flowed, you know, like it just kept unraveling and evolving. And I think you feel that when you watch the performances. And then Andy, you know, astounded me with the responsibility he took on in making sure we had a Class A production. And that was I was pretty impressed by his high ethic, and of course their high standard of acting, you know, and I wasn't surprised because we've had that experience for a long time.
What do you look for in casting?
Well, I look for in a casting, first of all, I'm a person who likes vulnerability. I don't want to sit 2 hours watching anybody in a film or on stage if I don't feel I experience their heart and their soul. So then when you see the heart and soul, and then you find the authority, and then you find people who can play the conflict and go there emotionally, then you feel like you have actors with great range, you know. And I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of actors who go the extra mile, and I've been able to work with them and guide them and, you know, take them there. But it's wonderful when you know they have it inside them. And they get up here every night, and they bleed differently, and it just breaks my heart. I must say, sitting in the house, I try not to laugh, and I try not to cry, but every night I'm laughing and crying. It's that kind of a piece, but it's what they bring to it. I've never seen the piece before, so I can't imagine what the previous productions were like. I bet they were great. But this feels like we've found something very original about it, even by the mere fact that these two sensational actors are playing these parts. You know, their differences complement each other as well as collide beautifully. You know, so I really appreciate you taking the time to come down here. I'll bring in Andy Hoff and RJ DeBard. Yeah. Thank you again.
Yeah. Once again, I really loved the performance. I thought it was fantastic. I loved your direction in it.
Yeah. It means so much to me. I just feel like something magical happened, and I felt the flow, and they felt the flow, and we all got on the bus together.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
RJ DeBard. I originally moved out here from Ohio, where I went to school at Bowling Green State University, and I was part of the theater program there. And shortly after that, I think it was the summer that I ended school, I moved out here. So there it is. I moved out like with a dream, with a car full of everything that I could possibly put in that car, and a dream. And so here we are.
And which character you play?
I played Denny. Denny, I actually think that Denny is not the lead of the play. Denny is more of the anti-hero that you then come to like, because what the other character is, I think he's the conscious of the play. I think he's the one that kind of is the more level-headed. I'm kind of gregarious. I'm kind of a bit racist, but I've been a cop for a while. The way I was raised, I've been raised in this neighborhood forever, so I have my beliefs, and those beliefs, I think, are so prevalent today. And when people have beliefs and they're deeply rooted, they will have these beliefs, and that will be the belief that they carry throughout anything. But I think through the through line of the play, I think you really get to know Denny. And I would like to think that I have done a performance because you think you have to do Denny right, which is like, people don't hate you that much at the end of the play. They're kind of saddened by, I don't want to give it away, but they're kind of saddened by this, and there's kind of a juxtaposition of character now. Now the one character that you thought was it, now you kind of don't like this guy, so you don't know who to root for at the end. Except I think that the way we do the play, you're rooting for both people, just because we've worked so hard at making it seem like we've known each other for a lifetime, because it's so important in the play, it's so important in the parameters of what we're doing, that I hope it's heartbreaking at the end. I hope you laugh at the beginning, and I hope it's like, it takes you for a ride. I hope it takes you for a ride.
I definitely love the piece, and I loved your acting in it. You were definitely the anti-hero, and actually the way it played, kind of tragic. It was almost like a Shakespearean play. I mean, you think about the character you were playing. You were actually the focus, the arc of the entire story.
Wow. Well, I guess there's two huge people that you have to respect for the comment that you just made, and one is John Kirby for the direction that he had done with the play, because Keith Huff also, who's the second that I would think that you have to give ode to, he wrote a brilliant script, and I think it looks like on paper how he wrote it was for a screenplay, and I don't know the history of it. I don't know if he shopped it around before and it just never got built, so he was like, I'm going to go do a play out of this. But he took it to Chicago, he took it to New York, two famous actors in New York did it, but they did it completely different than us, and John Kirby, he brings it to life. I think we are doing it a lot of justice. I think what originally was going on is people were just sitting at a table saying lines, and it became like a storytelling thing. But I think we really put it into motion where you actually start caring about these people. And that's an ode to John, but let me not say that Keith Huff, who writes for everything that's popular and great right now, I mean, you saw the play. The script is amazing. It's tough to act, but then at the same time, it's really not that tough to act, because if it was not well written, it'd be a lot tougher to act. He gives us such gems in that script, and with John figuring out what he wants to do with it, it turns into what it was. And I think it's a great show, and I think people are responding to it. I think it's very socially relevant to this time period that we're in right now. And plus, if you like drama between people, if this is the play to come see. Come see this play. You will not be disappointed. We give our all, both actors. I mean, we're giving everything. I think it shows.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. First of all, like you said, this may be a difficult play to play, And if you had two bad actors, it would be really hard to sit through the whole thing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but basically, again,
So you sat through it, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you.
It was like two surgeons. I mean, given a complex surgery that they have to do, it was a very exciting play. A lot happened. There were car chases, there were fights, there were actually muggings, there was beatings, and all that was done by two actors, in which there was no, there was no.
There's no action in
no action.
that. We're talking about it, yeah. And as I said again, I'll reiterate, John did a great job at encapsulating everything. And when I'm in Rhonda's place, I'm over there. Everything is very, very thought out, but yet very, very loose and very, no night is exactly the same.
Yeah, basically, again, like I said before, I love the play. How would I rate this? I would rate it excellent. I would actually rate it one of the top plays I've seen all year. We're halfway through the year. Wow. I would actually, because
thank you.
Again, two actors, almost Shakespearean in its story.
Yeah, in the scope of it, yes.
Exactly. The emotions you go through infidelity, you go through lying, you go through anger, you go through elation, you go through all those emotions, and
that's the most difficult thing to play. Is like my character has to go through so much of a range of emotion, but it's not a range of emotion where it just kind of goes like, sometimes you got that, and then you got to bring it back, and then you get it, and you got to go. And John challenged me. He was like, I know you can do it. I'm going to put you through the ringer right now by telling you got to be this way during this scene. Like, quickly after being this way, you have to be a completely different way. And I'd like to think that, he would be proud of what I'm doing. And I say, like, every night is different on stage. It's different than film and television. I mean, film and television, you do a take, you do it differently. You don't know what they're going to use. But on stage, it's like, we're fired out of a cannon. From the first line that I say, when we come out, music stops, I go in, we're fired out of a cannon. We don't stop, And we're taking these characters through an arc. And these characters tend to, change throughout the whole play to where we hope that you're invested enough at the end of the play where you really care about these characters. And the greatest thing that I've ever heard in the past run is like audible crying at the last scene. That's when you know you have an audience that you have. And I think the way that John's directed the play, I think the way that we're acting it, I've never felt like audiences are different all the time, but I've never felt that an audience hasn't been with us for the ride, because I think it's a good play, and I really do think that you should come see it. Everybody should come see it.
Yeah, again, I thought it was excellent. Actually, I thought it was like Hamlet. What do you think, like Hamlet?
Wow. Who's Hamlet? Him or me? I don't know. Are there two Hamlets in Hamlet? Maybe that's something we should dig up William Shakespeare and figure it out. Maybe there could be two Hamlets. Maybe Hamlet had a twin brother, and that's the play.
Yeah. Okay, once again, I really love the performance. I really loved your performance. You were fantastic. Again, one of the best performances I've seen this year.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words. And
okay. Thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Andy Hoff. I'm originally from the East Coast, New York. I ran a theater company that I founded there for, 7 or 8 years, and then I moved out here. And it's been a long time since I put on any theater shoes, but I've been, doing a lot of work in film and TV in my time here. So this is a special chance for me to get to do something that I haven't done in a long time. So. I played Joey, so he's a Chicago cop who kind of gets caught up in things that are a little bit out of his control and a little above his wits. Even though, there are really no heroes in this play necessarily, I definitely think Joey is a good man at heart. He wants to do the right thing. He wants the things that everybody wants. He just makes some missteps. He's sort of under the wing of his best friend, his lifelong best friend, who doesn't necessarily play by the rules, and he's easily swayed by that. And then when he sees an opportunity to get some of the things that he has wanted his whole life, he, I think, surprises himself by making some decisions that he didn't know he was capable of.
I love this performance. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's kind. This is the hardest play that I've ever worked on. It's so. I mean, it really requires everything for both actors that we have. I mean, it covers the entire spectrum of human emotion and experience, and I mean, it's a real pleasure and frightening every night to get up and do this. I mean, I think we both come into the theater and have a little bit of sense of dread about where we know that we have to, go and the things that we have to accomplish, but. When it's all said and done, that's what at least I feel called to do. This is what I want to do with my life. This is what I have spent. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm in the game. So this is what I do it for.
Basically, usually I don't like leading men because I feel like they're just playing themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your character, I just was mesmerized by him. I saw the conflict he had with himself, what he wanted, what he was. Who was he? I mean, what was he? He was actually someone else, and that someone else wasn't a very nice person. He was actually his partner.
Yeah.
Trying the good side of his partner, and he couldn't become that until a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah.
So basically, I just loved the piece. I loved your acting because. Not only that, but you played the perfect cop. When I looked at this guy, I thought you were Irish. I thought you had the mustache, you had the costume, everything all perfect.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, A, I'm not Irish. B, I'm not a cop. C, I've never been called a leading man before, so that's a welcome comment. But I was raised by a military man, so as far as being officious in that way, I think that's where I kind of tap into that. I understand that on sort of a base level. So that's how I'm able to carry that, I think. So, but that's definitely the farthest thing from me in my own life. My whole family are all military folks, and I'm the guy who moved to California and talks about his feelings and stuff. Everybody's deeply ashamed of me. So,
one last question: if my viewers decide to come out and see this piece, what should they expect to see?
Well, I think they're going to see two actors, in a brilliant script, laying their hearts, minds, bodies on the line. I mean, we put everything into this show every night that we go up, and I feel like we executed at a pretty deft level. So, I have done enough theater in my day, especially in New York, to have a good barometer of what's working and what might have some issues, and I feel like we might have tapped into something really good here.
Definitely, I agree. I loved the story. I loved the acting. I thought everything was fantastic. I loved your acting in particular.
So thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
All right. Thank you once again for being on the show.
All right. Thank you.
A Steady Rain will be playing at the John Kirby Studio from July 14th to the 30th. For more information, go to www.steadyrain.brownpapertickets.com.